Is everything to play for on a glorious Wednesday afternoon here in Edinburgh, as two teams smarting from their respective losses in Sunday's tournament opener look to return to the pitch to edge their way up the 2019 Four Nations table. Wales's young squad will take lots of positives from their spirited performance against the dominant English, while Scotland will be licking their wounds after letting an 18-point half-time lead slip against the unfancied Irish. But first, we have a game at the heart of this year's competition, and arguably the centrepiece of today's action, as England and Ireland seek to end the other's dream start. A quick look in the history books, and it shows that England remain unbeaten in this fixture. And so Richard Tate's young chargers may be more concerned with their lunch than the potential crunch this game may bring. And whilst the latest batch of Irish students will be keen to show they are more than a match to the tournament's holders, surely it'll only be today's winner given the licence to enjoy their dinner this evening. You'll be pleased to hear that I will not be alone chewing over what promises to be an absorbing 18 minutes of rugby league, as joining me in the commentary box are two expert summarisers. To my left, I've got Scotland Rugby League President Keith Hogg and Edinburgh Eagles Chairman Barry. Gentlemen, hello, welcome to another glorious day here at Peffermill.
Good afternoon, George. It's an absolutely stunning day here in Edinburgh. I think those of us who live up here are even more surprised with the weather today than we were last Sunday.
Yeah, good afternoon, George. I'll be inclined to agree with Keith, given the weather we've had the last couple of days.
So these are the two winners from Sunday. I think Ireland will be absolutely ecstatic after their win over Scotland at the weekend, although they've not made the best start there. Their victory over Scotland was their first win in 4 years in this tournament, so I'm sure they did celebrate appropriately. Good on them.
They seemed pretty jubilant after the game.
You would be, wouldn't you? You're 18-0 down at half-time and you come back to win the game 28-26. It was a fantastic game for the neutral. It definitely wasn't a great game if you were involved with one of the teams from a heart rate perspective.
Not good for your old stress levels.
Definitely not. No, I think you can. Our viewers may actually be able to see the young man who's walking behind the post at the moment on crutches. That's Ryan Guilfoyle, who's was the Ireland 9 on Sunday against Scotland. He was definitely one of their star players. Be interesting to see how they cover for him in this game.
So both teams have had 3 changes coming into the game. As you mentioned, Ryan Guilfoyle, Aaron Byrne and Gareth Gardner have dropped out for Ireland, with James Cromie, Paul Bolger and Johnny Campbell coming in. England similarly have made 3 changes themselves, with Alex Smith, Daniel Munt and Lewis Munyoro coming in. Try scorer on Sunday, Lee Registe, Errol Carter and Daniel Glover will drop out. Do you reckon those 3 changes will affect the balance of either team, Barry?
No, I think it's just both coaches giving the squad the opportunity to rotate the squads. It was a very hot day on Sunday, and as we can see again, it's another very hot day. So it's very easy for the players to become tired in these type of conditions. So you may as well maximise the opportunity to rotate with all the players you've got in your squad.
And the games come thick and fast, of course. You're not wanting to put too much strain on either player.
Well, that's it. The guys at each of the teams have had 2 days break, but they'll be training in the meantime. There'll be recovery going on, so player welfare is a major issue. And let's say if any of the guys have picked up a slight knock, the coaches will give that opportunity to rest them for today, with another match coming on Saturday, in a couple of days' time.
I think in terms of the values of this tournament, I think all 4 head coaches will make sure that all 20 members of their squad get some good game time. I think generally each of the coaches make sure that each player gets to play in at least 2 out of the 3 games. And I think that's only right. They've all worked hard to get to this stage. They've all made a significant financial contribution. It's the players who make the biggest contribution to the funding of this tournament, and they all deserve a chance on the pitch. Balance that with the inevitable odd injury and knock, then they're all going to get a good go.
We should just remind anybody watching that the clock that's running on the screen is just a guideline. We don't actually have the official match time. It'll just be a running clock, so it's just a guideline for any viewers.
As we see England with the early advantage, Ireland back on their try line early doors. Big defensive set coming up here for Ireland. England now taken up by Kaylee Gray. England again, looks to be first try. And it is...
It's Alex Eckley from Liverpool John Moore University, who was definitely one of the England standout players on Sunday as well. So it was a great start for England. It simply come from Ireland losing the ball in the first tackle from the kick-off.
That's Alex Eckley's second try of the tournament. He scored as well on Sunday. England with a dream start, you would say.
Yeah, it's an ideal start for them. Like you said, the mistake came from the very first tackle there from Ireland, and England have punished them. Great start for England. So Ireland will just have to regroup now, and say, like we said the other day, just get back to basics.
England number 14, Matthew Crimes, looking to add the extras.
Nope.
It misses left. The score remains 4-0 to England.
Conversion unsuccessful, so the score remains England 4, Ireland 0.
So I imagine the game plan remains the same for Ireland now. Just try and put those opening minute or two to the back of their heads and regroup and go again from there.
Yeah, they just need a good defence. Good kick-off here, good chase, good defensive set, force England into a kick on the last play.
Kick it deep. Dangerous Josh Bolger making ground. He looked dangerous against the Welsh and looks to be in similar fettle again this morning, or this afternoon I should say.
I'm looking forward to seeing Lewis Munyoro, the England number 23. He only picked up rugby league at university, having been a basketballer, so he's relatively new to the game.
There's a number of players in different squads who are relatively new to rugby league. Is it a game with various transferable skills from other sports?
Well, mainly from rugby union, but equally I know of examples of guys that have taken up rugby league at university and may have done something like judo or karate, because they have the physical conditioning and the mindset to be able to play the game. So you will find people moving from rugby league to rugby union as well. But it's not absolutely essential that you've played the game when you go to university. You can get to quite an elite, well, we can see here, to an elite level by just starting at university.
Ireland with the ball now. Ireland slowly edging themselves up. Lucky bouncing Josh Bolger again. Gets himself back into the middle. England still. Ryan Langton. Scooped up and gone by Dom Judd. Forward pass given against England.
Yeah, you saw the danger of allowing England players to offload there. They got a little bit flat in their back line, and that really is what caused the forward pass there. But Ireland need to wrap them up in the tackle a little bit better here. You can just see the Ireland guys with the ball just need to get their shape. Got a new guy at hooker, that's never easy to deal with.
Ireland now. Ewan Teelan. Ball in there. Rex Porter. The kick comes in. Josh Bolger hoovers it up. Well brought down.
Yeah, that's a really positive set for Ireland there. Good yardage in the opening 5. Good kick, good chase.
Penalty for England. Is that a bit of early frustration coming out from Ireland, or just over eagerness?
I'd say just been a little bit over eager. They just needed to get out the tackle there. I think for our viewers we should point out that all 3 of us have just had to put our Factor 30 sun cream on, as we are looking straight into the sun here, and it is a truly astonishing day.
More like the Costa Brava than Peffermill, that's for sure.
You can see how effective Callie Gray is at taking the ball forward. Young man from Bath University, expect England to put it out the back here.
And they do. Fantastic finish in the corner. Fantastic work by Matthew Crimes in the corner. Still had a little bit of work to do, one-on-one in the corner.
A lot of work. Actually, quite a good tackle. But we saw on Sunday that Crimes is definitely one of the more experienced of the England players at Leeds Beckett University. Plays occasionally at semi-pro level.
Yeah, I believe he plays at Doncaster, so like you say, he's playing his trade there and gaining a vast amount of experience, which a lot of the boys won't be getting.
Now, if you go back, where's that come from? It's come from Ireland conceding the penalty, because they actually completed a really good set with a really good kick into the corner, and then they let England back down here just by a little bit of ill discipline.
times again. Again, just gliding left.
Just drifting left. There's no excuses for the kickers today. There's a very slight breeze.
Score remains England 8, Ireland 0.
So last year's game between these two teams saw an 80 points to 0 victory for England. A quick glance at the scoreboard would suggest that that England will be out for a similar result today. But
Well, let's see. Let's not forget. It's similar scoreline to this in the Scotland game on Sunday. These Irish boys they're fit. They're well organised, and they're certainly disciplined and very competitive. Now, I've certainly spoken to the Ireland guys about that game last year, and they were very, very disappointed with the performance. And I'm not expecting the game to go that way.
No, I think Ireland will have been looking at the video from the England-Wales game this week, and they'll be able to spot a few defensive weaknesses that the Wales managed to exploit. So I would imagine they'll be looking to do exactly the same thing.
Ireland now with Brad Sheridan. Taken up by Tommy Chipchase.
Probably one of the best names in rugby league.
Yep, get it. So you could see, Jules, there that Ireland got good shape, good set, good kick at the end. A little bit unlucky actually in terms of the bounce of the ball there.
Is that what Ireland are going to need to do? Just be a little bit inventive, just remain and keep their discipline as well throughout the duration of the game?
I'd say so. No, they showed in the second half on Sunday that they've got some very, very good structure. They've got some good talent out there. They just need to show discipline in the tackle, not give away silly penalties, and play through their sets.
Tom Job now. Penalty to England.
I can't believe it, was it?
Tom Job plays it from the tackle.
I think Ireland needs a count up here on their left.
Again, looking dangerous for England down their right flank.
No, you can see the speed and the structure that England are trying to play with. Just a little bit of lack of skill there. Coaches would be a little bit disappointed that they didn't finish that off because they'd moved themselves into exactly the right place on the pitch. And again, you can see just how dangerous a runner Josh Bolger is from fullback.
I think in fairness to Ireland, though, there the defence scrambled very well. Put England under pressure, and that's probably what forced the mistake.
Ireland slowly edging their way towards the halfway line. by Manchester Met's Josh Dean.
Just gone a little bit too far, George. So it's a 7 tackle set now to England. So let's see what Bolger does with this ball. He really does like to take the ball off these 20-metre taps.
Ops right. Sean Croston picks it right. Daniel Monk and Crimes again in the corner. Ireland just didn't seem to have the numbers there.
I think, to be honest, they did have the number. It's just they got caught. It was a lazy chase from the inside, which left the gap there for Daniel Munt to go through. He had Crimes there on his outside to feed him away.
England there scored by number 14, Matthew Crimes, and the score is now England 12, Ireland 0.
We've seen the danger posed by England in these early stages. I feel Ireland are going to need to really dig in now, taking us up. Well, still not even halfway through this first half, just to remain competitive.
Yeah, that's right, George. You can see that's again come from Ireland conceded an unnecessary penalty. If you're playing against a team like England and you give them consecutive sets, it's going to become very, very tough defensively, and particularly on a day like this. It is a genuinely hot day, and it'll become very draining for them. So they need to dig in here.
Sean Croston of Northumbria took over the kicking duties, and again can't quite add the extras. England lead 12-0 at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's something that Ireland can take from it. Obviously, the game's not quite got away from them yet. It's still only 2 tries due to the missed conversions.
Discipline creeping in for Ireland.
We may be seeing a little bit of inexperience here from some of the Ireland guys, because they've got to work out how the referee is refereeing this game, what he's looking for, because that's exactly the same penalty as the previous one.
Yeah, I think maybe the defence is just tiring a little bit, and what they try to do is lie on and buy that extra second for the defensive line to get itself set. England want a quick play of the ball, they're fighting to get up, and the referee's having no choice but to give them a penalty.
Andrew Joy taking... England with Joy. Job, Ops left. England look to have numbers if they can use them.
Kieran Smith had to stop there, because if he'd have gone forward with the ball, the guy in front of him would have caused him offside. They're outnumbered here, Ireland.
Again, 3-on-1. Making music go over in the corner. Is that just lack of reorganisation from the Irish, or England are just attacking too quickly with the ball again?
Well, I think it's what Barry said, but his Ireland are now getting tired in defence, which is not surprising. They've not touched the ball for quite a while now. As they're getting tired in defence, they're giving away penalties. That makes it that much more difficult. It's then really challenging to number up.
England 16, Ireland 0.
We're only 20 minutes into the game, so a bit of tiredness in the defensive line has got to be a little bit of a worry for the Irish coaches. Will they be looking to the subs bench to try and make a couple of swaps, try and liven Ireland up?
Yeah, they'll be looking to make changes, but I think it's like Keith said, they haven't actually had the ball. They've spent pretty much the first quarter of the game defending. I think they've had the ball 2 or 3 times, and when they have had the ball, they've had good shape, they've stuck good kicks in, but then just silly penalties, potentially from the inexperience, potentially from fatigue, has cost them.
Again, conversion missed. Score remains England 16, Ireland 0.
Score remains England 16, Ireland 0.
So, order of the day, Ireland just getting there and getting the ball in hand and just trying to take a bit of a sting out of this England pressure.
They need to hold England out here. It's quite an intelligent kick. Well done. That's intelligent rugby league from Ireland.
Ireland with Mulvaney.
They just need to make sure they complete this set in a good kick and try and get the repeat set at the back end of it.
Chip through was looking for Zach Fellows, but regathered by England.
And no, Crimes did well there to get out the in-goal area, otherwise that would have been a dropout under the post. So that was unfortunate for Ireland there, but good set. That gives them a little bit more energy back for some defence now.
Fantastic strong run by Lewis Munoro. England again. Jab ops right. And again.
That's a much better defensive set from Ireland, forcing England into the kick. And now as a team, they can re-energise with the ball.
Zach Fellows takes in Rex Bolton now. Gives it to Jack O'Sullivan.
That's going to help the Irish cause there. A penalty should get him an extra 20 metres downfield from the kick and start in a good attacking position.
Ball taken up by O'Sullivan.
Oh. So excuse the expression there, but that was knocked on by England, I think. We're looking into the sun a bit here. Scrum down for England.
Frustrating for Ireland. On England's try line.
Yeah, it was a poor pass from Brad Sheridan behind the play the ball there. I think he wanted to get a quick pass away to his forward who was charging up on the ball, but unfortunately he mistimed the pass and gave it straight to an England player. But that'll help.
A knock on from England. Now's a chance for Ireland.
If they can regather the ball, which they do, attacking the right now.
And they too have coughed it up.
So we see a little bit of
handbags.
Off the ball, let's say greetings.
Well, there's no advantage there. The referee decided there was no advantage to Ireland there. So it's a double knock on Ireland ball in the scrum. So now another good opportunity for them. And this is particularly good for them, just in terms of getting their energy levels back up after a long stint of defending.
I must admit, I'm surprised the referee maybe hasn't called for a water break.
Referee today is Denton Arnott. Ireland with a chance. Get themselves on the scoreboard. Porter takes it short.
He's just been held up. If Ireland have a look here on their right, they must have a 4-man overlap.
We talk about water breaks there. Water comes running on for both sides. Seems to be a bit of a pause in play as Josh Borger gets a little bit of medical attention, but thankfully he's good to go. So Ireland playing it right here, you would say? Which they do.
Again, they've got numbers on the right.
Ought not to use them yet.
Well, they've been so at a very poor end to the set there, unfortunately, and so I think they'll be a little bit disappointed with that.
Whee.
Again, a little bit of...
There's a little bit of tension out there. There's one or two silly things just happening off the ball. Nothing too serious at the moment. Let's hope it stays that way.
Penalty for England. Frustrating for Ireland, just giving away a little bit of field possession, having been right on the England line again. That ill discipline just creeping in and stunting any progress.
Yeah, they've just had a very good sort of 3-4 minutes camped on the England line there, and first set they've had to defend with England coming away from the line. They've given a penalty away, so they've just piggybacked England down the pitch. It's something which we know already they can't really afford to do.
Again, space right. It looked like Crimes was going to be in for his third try.
It did, didn't it? Referee's given a forward pass.
No, he's actually given obstruction.
Oh, he's given obstruction, has he? Well, okay. Fair enough.
A let off for Ireland, you would think.
A let off. Now, you saw Kieran Smith and Alex Bilby, the two England halfbacks there, combining well. Presumably an England player's run through there on an outside shoulder.
Ireland perhaps a little bit fortunate there. Well, that's criminal from Ireland.
Big mistake from Ireland.
Yeah, missing touch is one mistake, but it's been compounded there by Josh Dean. Probably a little bit of frustration. Comes straight in with a high tackle.
Big set, you'd think.
big set. It's very unfortunate from Ireland. Generally, those things with the kicker are just down to lack of concentration. They can all kick the ball well. They all know how to kick a ball, what to do with it. Those mistakes just happen when they just lose a fraction of concentration. And now we've got England on the attack here, when really at the moment we should be seeing the end of a good Ireland set with the ball. I'm very impressed with Ryan Langton, the Ireland 15 who was involved in that tackle there. There you go, you can see again what England are trying to do with that move. I suspect the England coaches will be watching the video quite carefully after this game, just seeing where their centre and winger are actually running there.
Again, looking for the dangerous Matthew Crimes on the right wing.
Yeah, he's finished off his tries very well, but he's benefiting from some good movement from the rest of his teammates, which wingers often do.
Alan scrum. Plays it short. Again, Ireland slowly edging their way back up the field.
So we've got an England man down here. That's Andrew Joy from Manchester College. He just took one right into his chest there. Let's hope he's okay.
He's up on his feet though.
Yeah, I think it's just a couple of big lads colliding. That's all.
Physio signalling that he's okay. Can't quite see the number on the Irish guy that's down at the moment.
Aaron Ryan, number 10.
One of two from Technology University Dublin.
I think it's one of the positives for this Ireland team is you can see guys from universities and colleges in Ireland. You've got guys from Belfast as well, and it just shows that the game of rugby league is spreading around the whole of Ireland, which is great to see.
Still got your contingent from the strong Leeds Beckett, as you seem to do in pretty much every team in this tournament.
Yeah, now you've got an interesting example there. Now, the Ireland number 13, Kevin Varga. I know his father. His father was part of the set-up in Ireland. Does a lot of coaching. Like all of us, just lends his hand to everything. He was driving the minibus for our under-19s when they picked us up at Dublin Airport when we played them a few weeks ago. And now I'm sure that Kevin's come over to Leeds Beckett both for the education but also for the rugby league education as well. So that makes a lot of sense for Irish guys. It makes sense for Scottish and also some of the Welsh guys as well.
Big first tackle from England. Ireland up to kick. Lewis Munro of Coventry. Again, Crimes with the ball. Plays it inside.
That's good pressure from Ireland. Judge flag up here. Obviously a potential penalty offence.
Referee's gone to his pocket. It appears that one of the Irish lads, is it Brad Sheridan? Is that the 7? Been sent to the sin bin. He's obviously said something out of turn to the official, presumably.
Ireland down to 12.
I think at this stage of the game, that's the last thing they needed. Alex Smith. England
walking untouched into the Irish try line.
And where was the guy who was sin-binned? Where was he defending? That's the issue. When you go down to 12, it becomes very difficult to defend that space. And they went straight through his normal defensive spot. Just a lack of discipline for the Irish. Just when they'd actually had a pretty good 10 minutes, and the game was pretty even.
The score is now England 20, Ireland 12.
That's going to be really frustrating for Ireland. They just kind of eased themselves back into the game. Hadn't conceded for a good 15 minutes, and then a penalty giveaway, a man in the sin bin, just lets England get back on top and get back on the scoreboard again.
Yeah, as Keith says, they've just been they've had a good spell there, and it's unfortunate for them. So they've maybe just let a little bit of ill discipline get in. And to be honest, I mean, the coaching staff are not going to be happy with the sin bin, and if it's for mouthing off, that's something that's well within the control of the player. He's obviously said something out of turn to the official who's come on and punished him for it. Unfortunately, he's also now his teammates have been punished on the scoreboard, and now will be punished for the next 10 minutes defensively. Defending in this heat is already difficult. Defending a man down in this heat is going to be very difficult from just before half time.
It came just as Ireland's defensive line speed was looking to have improved. They were starting to really trouble that England attacking line.
Yeah, again, it's kind of, if you take it back, it's all come from an Ireland penalty roughly on halfway, and then the sin binning. Now, up until that moment, it was becoming a very well balanced game.
Callum. Tom Jubb.
England to
the referee's decided there that Jubb wasn't protecting the ball well enough,
and brings us to half time.
So, summary of that first half. England got to be the happier side.
England be quite happy with that. They've missed some chances. Ireland made a slow start. I think so much of this is just about Irish discipline. I'm not too sure what the penalty count is at the moment. If I was guessing, it'd probably be something like 6-1 in favour of England. That's very significant on a day like this. But again, Ireland should be very pleased with their structure, with their defensive effort, with their team spirit. So let's see how things go in the second half.
So will that be the message from the Irish coaching panel, just to keep disciplined and just stay structured in the second half and try and get themselves back in the game?
Yeah, from a defensive point of view, they probably just need to tighten up a little bit on their own left edge. England are attacking down their right edge all the time, using it quite frequently. A number of tries down that edge, and a number of tries chalked off down that edge as well. So I say Ireland just need to tighten up on the left and hopefully come out for a strong second half.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to that. See you guys in 10 minutes or so. Again, Ireland out nice and early before the start of the second half.
It was a tactic that worked for them on Sunday, so perhaps they're hoping it'll work for them again.
They were only 18 points down against Scotland and came back from there, so 20's just pushing it a little bit more, you would think.
It is, and this is a well-disciplined and well-structured England team, and they're going to get first use of the ball, so again it requires a good defensive set from Ireland.
Played long, well taken by Crimes.
Is Neil coming to a 5 o'clock game?
No, I think he is.
Dave is from the travel company. Remember we met him at Magic? Which is asked because he knows me.
England through Croston. Joe. Plays it wide to Jones. Job again to Smith. To Brampton.
As Kieran Smith he recovered well from the issue that Jubb had there, but that's a 7-tackle set to Ireland. That's a good opportunity for them to get in well into the second half.
Yeah, it's good pressure there from the Ireland marker on the England hooker, which forced probably a little bit of a kick that he wasn't hoping to have to put in.
Good take by Crimes on the England right wing there. No, that's a good, well-structured set from Ireland. Got to a good kick. Just need to close down.
We see Bulger.
Bulger again. You have to say he is England's most dangerous runner.
He's always looking just to come back inside on that inside shoulder.
Oh, absolutely. We've also seen Lewis Munro at the left wing getting into the game. Good aggressive carries.
Up to Jubb.
Ireland obviously still down to 12 men here, so there's still going to be. It's important to keep the defence tight.
With Eckley. Jubb goes left. Bit of frustration from England, wanting the advantage.
Slightly late call there. But, we're not in line with that play here, so it's not for us to judge. But clearly, that was a result for Ireland.
England again looking threatening there when they could play the ball quickly just before Ireland seemed to have set up. Euro with the run. England now look it left. Brunton takes it short.
Ireland have a man down here at the moment, so they've got 11 in their defensive line. England choose to kick. And a good take by the Ireland left wing.
Yeah, it's the Irish number 8, Paul Bolger. I think it's a head injury. I think the referee should be have his attention drawn to this one.
Which he now has, and the referee stops play. Quite right.
Looks to be a substitution coming for Ireland.
Yeah, he'll go off. He'll get assessed. He'll have a head injury assessment, and we'll see if he's ready to come back.
So again, we spoke about it on Sunday, but those head injury assessments is something which has really slammed into everyone's consciousness in recent years.
No, and absolutely right too. No, Barry mentioned it in the first half, which is player welfare comes before anything else in any sport. And I think I'm sure our viewers will understand that anybody involved in sport at all levels, frankly, whether it be an under-11 game of rugby of either code or this standard at the elite level, is looking after the players comes before anything else. And certainly people's understanding of the importance of looking after people who have received some form of head knock has improved immensely. No, and the regulations now around it are very tight, and so they should be.
Ireland with the penalty.
I think Ireland will be quite happy with the start of this half.
Fine touch. Conor Creevy takes it short. Walter feeds left. Much more promising start to this half for Ireland than the first half was. You see the kick coming in.
That's a very, very good set and a very, very good end to the set as well.
Yeah, I think that was Matthew Crimes as Foster just ushed that ball dead, and Ireland have now got a repeat set. Again, still down to 12 men. Are they back up to 13? They're back up to 13 men now. So they've done well. They've held out there for the majority of that 10 minutes. In the second half, they played some very positive rugby.
Oh.
Curse of the commentator.
Just shows you that everybody on the pitch needs to concentrate when you get a dropout like that. The Ireland player wasn't expecting it to come to him. It was a missed kick. Unfortunately, knocked it on straight into the England hands.
A fantastic run from Daniel Munt.
Absolutely.
Branton takes it up. Fletcher goes right. Feeding Smith.
Again, referee correctly just blowing his whistle just in case of just checking over the England player.
Again, water just coming on the pitch. I'm sure be much needed by the players in what is a scorching day in Edinburgh.
I think if they're doing their job properly here, the water carriers are going to be doing a fair few kilometres this afternoon. And they certainly shouldn't. Well, they need to be doing their job correctly.
Definitely want to be wearing their Fitbit, get those Fitbit steps counted in, that's for sure.
Final tackle. Again, that's a good, given what happened from that dropout, that's a good defensive set from Ireland. They responded well after that break.
England defence very strong there.
Chance for Ireland now.
I thought he just kicked it straight to Matthew Crimes there.
Great footwork by Jubb, just can't quite squeeze his way through the Ireland team. Bulger plays right to Branton. Kick comes in looking for Crimes. England think they've got.
Referee just checking the decision with the touch judge there.
I think they've got the first try of this second half.
And the tries
knock on.
There's an Ireland 20-metre tap, George.
And again another seven tackle set. I think the Ireland staff will certainly be a lot happier this half. And the way they start, the Ireland lads have started this half than they will the first half. Restricted England's made to defend it better, and they've made a lot more yardage themselves.
Ireland.
Oh, unlucky. That was unlucky, but Ireland need to get their defensive structure back here quickly.
There's a half break there from Josh Dean. He tried to feed it onto Peter Ryan, who I'm just not sure was expecting it.
Ooh.
Where's the bounce go?
I think the Ireland number 11, Peter Ryan, could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Seemed to be a late hit on the England kicker.
I think the three of us, or certainly two of us, saw that. Which he was just dangling an arm out, and it did actually catch. It caught Kieran Smith, the England halfback. It didn't catch him badly, but it was. I'd put it down as being more careless. That, Barry.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Kieran Smith certainly made the most of it.
That penalty for me would be the right decision there. Again, just a little bit of ill discipline there from Ireland. Just when actually it's very much been a 50-50 game when you've actually seen just how good the Irish structure is with the ball.
Taken up by Brampton. Looking right. Over in that far corner, looks to be the hat-trick.
It looks to be Crimes is the man for the day, isn't he, really? But no reflection on the whole game so far is the number of England tries that have come off Ireland conceding a relatively unnecessary penalty. No, they got to the final tackle then when that penalty was conceded.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely frustrating for the Ireland coaching staff. Like you say, it was totally unnecessary. There was no reason to leave his arm in there. The pressure had been put on the kick and the ball was away. It was very late.
It does just seem to be the lack of discipline and, in fact, the lack of accuracy between the two teams, which is the difference. Ireland spilling the kick which came at the beginning of that play.
The drop out from under the post. Yeah, no, you've got to reflect on the standard of this tournament for all of the teams. This is a high standard. It's pressurised. They're going to make mistakes. I think in the round that again we're seeing a good Ireland team here. This for me is very good signs for Ireland Rugby League.
It was another unsuccessful conversion for the English there, so that's 24-0, I believe.
I suspect that on their day off, some of the England guys might be practicing their kicking.
0 from 6 for the day.
It happens though. Even the very best have days when it just doesn't work for them.
Strong run by McCallum. Ireland scrambling. Jump now, gives it left to Smith. Bulger coming in. Again goes to try on the inside.
Good defence from Ireland, very spirited.
Yeah, I think the England staff will be a little bit disappointed with that finish to the set. He was a little bit greedy there, going on his own. England had themselves all lined out for the kick.
We're allowed to comment on the train going by, George?
It's
absolutely
quite a rare occurrence to get a train going by. It's had the Rugby League not been so magnificent, it would have been definitely worth commenting.
It's what the cricket commentators do, isn't it? It's for no idea, or is it London buses?
Or the pigeons.
That was a Scottish freight train.
Unfortunate lack of pigeons today for all the bird watchers out there. England look delighted.
Now again, Ireland needed to get to the end of that set there. Now they've got a front in defence. Now what are we, about 20 minutes into the second half now? Things now get quite tough.
A show of fantastic team spirit from the England side, although they've been together a lot longer than some of the other teams, so you'd probably hope for the
no, if you're a coaching team, you're watching for that team spirit all the time. It's what you'd expect to see. No, support your colleagues.
In answer to Kieran Webb on the live feed, they just need to hold the ball. They've been going okay in this half of Ireland, and they say it's just a couple of mistakes again, but they just need to hold the ball, and that should hopefully give them the opportunity.
It's great goal line defence again from Ireland.
Space on the right, taken by England.
Try there for number 4 for Daniel Munt.
I think I'm concluding here, Barry, that your eyes are much better than my prescription sunglasses. Because again, for our viewers, we are looking almost straight into the sun now here at Peffermill playing fields, which for those that don't know is part of Edinburgh University's absolutely fantastic sports facilities. And they basically clear a number of areas for us for the whole week for this tournament. So all 4 teams train here. We obviously play all the games here, and they also benefit from simple things like being able to use the changing room all week, which for the players and staff is a big thing, because it means they're not hauling their kit back and forward. Although one would like to hope that occasionally something gets washed.
Otherwise there'll be a lot of smelly men on the plane or train on the way home.
Oh, absolutely. The guys for this tournament stay at Pollock Halls, which is, I suspect, is Edinburgh University's biggest hall of residence. It sits right on the edge of the main city centre, so it's a 10-minute walk for them. If on their days off, if they want to go somewhere else, it's easy for them to find a good cafe, restaurant, or just go and see the what is of course a World Heritage Site. England celebrate their first successful conversion of the day.
I think that was probably the biggest cheer of the day.
So the other benefit of holding the tournament here is the Commonwealth swimming pool is right beside Pollock Hall. So for those who want to book it from a recovery perspective, I suspect people may have seen some of the pictures of the England squad in there on Monday, and Scotland did exactly the same as well.
I think we should just congratulate Alex Smith then on being the first successful conversion of the afternoon.
The referee's given a forward pass here.
Opportunity for Ireland now. Get themselves onto the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's a great position for them to start with the ball. They've shown themselves to have a lot of attacking spirit and a lot of capability. So hopefully now they'll manage to create something and get themselves on the board.
And the scrum is
It'd certainly be something that they deserved.
Ireland scrum.
opportunity for Ireland. 5 or so out. Penalty for England.
Yeah, I think he's given it for moving off the mark. He's probably a little bit harsh, to be honest with you. It was a bit 50-50 or incorrect play of the ball. So I'm assuming it's for moving off the mark.
I would say that was quite harsh. It looked to me as if from here, but no. What do we know? That he was actually trying to recover his balance. And now, there you go. There's concentration for you, because Kieran Smith has been 100% reliable with everything so far in this tournament. Misses a kick to touch, and then makes up for it by being in the tackle.
A great return though from George Cabral.
I think for the neutrals watching this game, I think we probably all quite like Ireland to get over the try line here, because I think they deserve at least one try out of this game.
Really good opportunity for Ireland now. Dangerous Manioro.
Now again, that's the second time in the game when a very good kick has pushed England back into the in-goal area, and Ireland have not been able to actually keep the England player in the in-goal. That was a great recovery from Manioro. Again, it's encouraging for Ireland.
England again, playing it right. Kick comes from Bilby. Ireland. Play it short, nowhere to go.
And,
I think Andy Joy might have caught his own man there.
So while we've got this break in play, George, just for viewers who like some stats on a rugby league match, not in this tournament, but certainly I know from the Student World Cup, which was in Sydney 2 years ago, the sorts of distances that these guys were covering, because most of the teams had GPS. The guys who cover the most distance won't surprise people who are fanatical about the game, are the wingers and the halfbacks. And you see these stats with things like state of origin, but people might be surprised that the state of origin game last Sunday, guys are running around about 9.5 kilometres, exactly similar figures in the Student World Cup, which shows the pace of the game, the energy in the game, and also the standard of the game. So it's as well as being out there going, so much of this game is about going back and forward and making tackles and kicking the ball. You've got guys that are running, let's say, between 7 and 9.5 kilometres in the game, which is some effort.
Especially in this heat.
Correct.
Finding it hard work being sat in the sun talking about it.
Well, there was an under-19 European Championships last year, which was held in Belgrade, and every game was played in temperatures over 30 degrees. It wasn't too surprising that by the third round of games that the players were fairly fatigued.
Smith now. Looks feeds Manioro on the left wing. Comes back inside. Knock on coming.
So Manioro did not play the ball properly there, hence the scrum. Ball just rolled forward actually as he tried to play it. It's a bit of a let-off for Ireland.
That's probably through his relative inexperience. So I think we're just going to have to resuscitate George here.
It's fine, Ryan will come to my rescue. Ireland.
So no advantage to England there, George. So scrum down England. I think we should reflect on the fact that both teams are keeping going well here. This is a warm day in Edinburgh. It's hard out there.
There's been relatively few stoppages this second half either. There's not been as many opportunities to get water on board.
It's got to be frustrating for these Ireland players who've had their chances in the second half and still yet to get on the scoreboard.
I think they'll take great heart though. They've created opportunities, but they just haven't necessarily, like you say, they just haven't necessarily taken those opportunities, George. It's on the whole though, they'll take a massively positive second half. The same way they did against Scotland, the second half was far better. So the coaching staff now, I think, will be looking to work on that for the next game against the Welsh, to try and compete for 80 minutes.
Taken up by Smith. Third left. Alex Smith feeds the dangerous border. Go left. Smith with a little kick through. Fantastically weighted kick and a little try in the left-hand corner for Jacob Jones. A fantastic kick there from England, or?
Yeah, Ireland just didn't react to it. He put it in behind the Irish defence there, and there was just nobody there to sweep up or react to it. So the England second row, Jacob Jones, was able to just sweep through the line and touch it down.
I think, to be fair to Ireland, then they were scrambling well. England using their skill. We saw some good feet there from Dean, and a great little kick from Kieran Smith. I think these two games have shown that this England team, not surprisingly, every team revolves around the halfbacks, but Kieran Smith is very much the man who drives them around, with Alex Bilby just being very steady and playing well within the structure on the right hand side from.
And then they've got dangerous wingers and a fullback in Josh Bulger who can just kind of ignite that attacking line.
That's absolutely right, George.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with Josh Bulger on Sunday and today.
And Josh Dean has lost his run of one successful kick, so England have kicked 1 out of 8. Is that right?
It is.
I'm sure in some way, shape or form the England guys will be blaming the balls, which apparently are very light. Now this now gets silly, George, because we've got a second freight train coming.
Yeah, this one's a bit more exciting than the last. A nice uniform.
Depends what you regard as exciting.
A uniform carriage structure. Unfortunately, just off the screen for all you fans watching at home. Kick regathered by England. They left to Branton. Strong run by Joy.
Strong run, but also strong tackling from the Irish.
Great defensive effort from England. Kick comes in by Sheridan.
Good defence there from Ireland. Good chase from Rex Bolter.
Dangerous Josh Bulger now. Well brought down.
Some of the Ireland guys are struggling now to get back. That's very easy. Unfortunately, the England player is offside.
Again, Josh Bulger showing his danger, gliding best part of 60 metres down this pitch.
I think, no, you said it a few minutes ago, George, which is you've got Crimes on the right wing and Bolger at fullback. They are a very dangerous combination. That's a little bit of cramp coming in here for one of the England players.
They're enough to give the Scottish...
It is Bolger. It was understandable on a day like this.
Enough to give the Scottish team something.
Yeah, probably a little bit fortunate there. I think the ball was pulled out in the direction of the Ireland line, so we probably should have been given as a knock-on against Munyoro. The referee obviously saw it differently.
England searching for their ninth try of the afternoon. And they get it. Just under the right-hand post. Through. I feel we should pass to our resident
person with the best eyes.
I believe it was Sean Croston.
And I think you're right, Barry, because he's got the ball.
Looking like he's going to see if he has any more luck off the tee.
In fairness, this is probably the easiest kick of the afternoon.
Is that?
No, that's Alex Smith.
That's Alex Smith, isn't it? He's definitely got himself the easiest kick. But that won't matter when he's talking about the points that he scored for England against Ireland. I've certainly never come across a kicker who admit that all 6 kicks were right in front of the post. Oh.
And that is it. The second successful conversion of the afternoon ends the game. England running out 40-0 winners over Ireland. A bit hard for the Irish.
Yeah, they were probably unlucky. A couple of late tries conceded. They probably flattered the England scoreline a little bit. But I think they'll take great heart from the game, and particularly a massive improvement on last year's score.
And I'd agree with that, George. I think we probably would have liked Ireland to get over the try line there. I think for the Ireland student setup, this is actually very encouraging. Won their first game for 4 years. I would see Ireland against Wales as a real 50-50 game on Saturday. I think they should take quite a lot of heart from that. And the other thing you can't fault there is the team spirit amongst those Irish guys is absolutely fantastic. So all credit to them. But we've seen the favourites for the competition showing what they can actually do.
And they look very impressive, England so far.
Yeah, they're a very experienced side. I think we discussed this earlier. They've had quite a big build-up coming into this. They're playing the President's Cup. I know they've had to. Their programme is substantially longer, so I know that they've had to raise a substantial amount of money, and I've been asked to thank their sponsors. But obviously the players contribute to that as well. It's a long programme. They play a lot together, and it shows. That's the bottom line. It does show. And they'll head now into the final game with Scotland quite confident of getting a result.
On to game two.
So join us in about half an hour as Scotland take on Wales. Thanks very much, gents, for joining me.
Thank you very much.
See you in half an hour.